Hello, my name is Michael Ramos, and I have been in the real estate world for my entire life. My family and I have done it all and seen more from real estate sales, construction, and property inspections. And in all this time, what fascinates me the most about this industry are the people and how they changed their dreams into realty success.
This program is brought to you by City Home Inspectors, your one-stop shop for all your home inspection needs.
All right, hello everybody, and thank you for tuning into this week's episode of From Dreams to Realty Success, where we share inspiring stories of the top achievers in the real estate industry. Today we have Aihnona Garcia. Aihnona graduated from the University of Cordoba in Spain and the University of Paul Verlaine in France in translating and interpreting skills. Aihnoa is a licensed realtor with Realty Chicago and has been licensed for 6 years. She's also the vice president of NAREP Chicago and is on the 250 list with NAREP. She's also a published author with the new book, Latinas in Real Estate. She's driven by honesty, advocacy, and dedication. Aihnoa works with hundreds of loyal and wonderful clients and has created a growing team that has achieved top producer awards in both locally and nationally. That is quite the resume you have there, Aihnoa. And also thank you so much for sending in a bio. There's a lot of the people that I interview, they don't have a bio set up, and it is so much easier to really get that intro down packed when I get a bio. So I really do appreciate that, and I do appreciate your time on coming in. I know it's a crazy market out there, so whenever I can peel you guys away from work, it does mean a lot to me. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. Thank you, Michael, for having me today. I'm excited to share this morning with you and whoever is going to be listening. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. So I do have another little segment before we get into your questions. I do have a letter from Baxi. So for those of you that don't know, Baxi is my mother, and she's also the owner of City Home Inspectors. She's been licensed for over 21 years in Chicago, so she really does study the market and everybody in it. And this is what she had to say about Aihnoa. Aihnoa is a super professional, articulate, and definitely a goal setter and achiever. I've witnessed her I witnessed her accomplish so much in such little time. I could only imagine what she can do and what she has done for her clients. The sky is the limit with Aihnoa.
Thank you, Baxi.
So that's just her words, and then that she had to say. I always try to have her do that, try to write something for everybody, because this is like kind of a passion project for me. But I always say, like, the most inspiring person to me is a realtor, and it's my mother, and that's why this whole thing came in, because I like to tell your stories.
Right.
So,
Now, your mom has so many relationships already, and she has an eye also to scout talent and to kind of like look what's coming next. So I appreciate the words too.
Thank you. Awesome. So I want to get right back to back in time. I did read a little bit. I read the bio that you provided, and I love this one segment you put in there. It says, Aihnoa packed her suitcase with a bunch of dreams and moved to Chicago. So after college, you came to Chicago. Can you kind of tell us why Chicago, and what was the reason why you came here versus anywhere else in the United States?
Or in the world per se.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So it was a very random decision. I had just moved back from France when I did my degree, finished my degree, and then I had a couple more semesters in Spain where I had to actually translate a book because my degree is in translation and interpreting studies. Sorry.
That's fine.
And then it was I was in school and I went to the cafeteria to warm up my lunch, and I saw a little ad that said, become an au pair and live the American dream. And at that time, it was 2012. And at that time, the economy in Europe was not in a good standing place. So I was like, I have been studying all my life. I have been sacrificing so much. I lived on my own since I was 16. So I was like, I cannot go back home now. So I looked and I look at the phone number and I call. And then I did an interview and I went through the program in Madrid and Cordoba. And they picked me. And I said, okay, let's do this. I can actually work on my English better, because you have to be surrounded by the language and the culture to really be able to speak the language. So I was like, this would be a great opportunity for me. So I went through the program, and they don't allow you to pick destinations. It's more like they put your profile up there, and then some families, because au pair program is like you take care of kids and you live in the house with them. So they kind of see your profile and they connect with you. So, and then obviously you have to accept the invitation and be like, okay, I see where it fit. I'm going to go to your home in
Mm-hmm.
the United States. So I interviewed with two families. The first one wasn't a fit. It was in a very, very small town in Texas, and it just was not going to work out. I'm from a very small village of 3,000 people. I didn't want to go to another small village, so I wanted to be in a big city. And I know Chicago, or I knew Chicago from movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this sounds familiar. I think I can do this. So this other family, it also was a sweet little girl and a great family. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I signed up with them, and I landed in Chicago in September 24th of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Random
So
position.
wow, so you just came in for a whole other job, and then what was the what ended up bringing you to real estate then after coming in for that?
Very good question. So I was a nanny for 18 years, really total.
Wow.
So since I was even like the kids I was taking care of, they were older than me. But I've always been like very responsible. And even back home, I was a tutor. I would teach English to kids and then take care of them too, like for $3 an hour. So it was just nothing, a little pocket money for me. And then, as I was having my school and everything, I was like, oh, I'll take care of kids. So after my au pair program finished, I was like, what am I good at? Well, and I don't have my immigration status in place just yet. So I need to find something that I'm good at and that I will be hired for. Because as an immigrant, you don't have all the opportunities that you might want, even though I was well educated.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for it and I became a nanny for another family. But in this case, I lived already on my own. I left the other family because the program ended. So I was a nanny with this wonderful family in Roscoe Village. And the father, actually, after almost 5 years working with them, I knew I wanted more. I did not come to the United States to be a nanny, with all due respect to that, because I do really love kids, wonderful families, and it's a good job. You don't have worries after you go home. With real
Mm-hmm.
estate, you work 24/7. And it was very random. Again, another random decision. But I guess destiny sometimes just works in mysterious ways. So the father of the kids was like, hey, why don't you do sales? And I was like, sales? What's sales? And he's like, well, you sell a product, and I think you can do it. And why don't you do real estate, actually selling houses? And I was like, okay, I'll look into it. It was completely new to me. I didn't know real estate at all. And I went home and I was checking with my roommate, showing her how to look for jobs on LinkedIn. And because I heard real estate that evening before I left their house, I put it on the search criteria, real estate. So obviously, now that I'm a realtor, I know that if you connect with some real estate office, if they have an HR person or someone in charge of recruiting, they will give you a call immediately because they want to recruit you for their office. Well, I didn't know that then. So I'm like, oh my God, the next day they call me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a job already? This is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I'm getting an interview. But it was not necessarily the case. But it was very, very random. I did go there. I didn't have professional attire because I was a nanny, and then party clothes. So none of them will be matching for that interview. So I went to Forever 21 and I bought myself a black blazer. And I didn't have a car, so I showed up on that office in a Uber Black because I wanted to show up in a style. And yeah, and I met with them, and soon enough, I realized that we were not talking the same thing. They were not necessarily hiring. They were just kind of asking what my license and all of the requirements that you have to be a realtor to get started were. So I was like, it might not be the fit that I thought I was going to be hired today. So one person, a top producer of their office, he came on by when I was leaving. He said, "Hey, you don't really know what you were doing, right?" And I said, "No, I thought you guys were hiring." He said, "Well, you do need to get a license. You need to go to school to get that license, and you need to pass some state and national exams." And I said, "Okay, this is wonderful. Where do I go?" So he gave me the Chicago Association of Realtors information, and I called, and I became part of the program, and the rest is just kind of started. Um,
Wow. Yeah, that's an amazing story. So just that it's crazy how just somebody saying, "Why don't you try that?" can
yeah.
just slowly, change your entire life. I mean, that's insane. That's really great. And then, so when you first got licensed, because I know you're with Realty Chicago now,
Mhm.
and like Realty Chicago is huge. I mean, they're I always say, like, I don't think you could drive a block without seeing a Realty Chicago banner or something, or seeing Eddie Garcia's face
Yeah.
somewhere. So I know they're one of the biggest out here. I mean, the 5 years in, they're just blowing up like crazy. Can you tell us, like, kind of why you decided to go with Realty Chicago and the benefits of being with them?
Sure. So I did some interviewing, but not many. So once you're, finishing school, the instructor even tells you, hey, it's going to be time that you're going to be done with the classes, that you're going to have your exam, and after that, you should be interviewing with offices to see where you can actually hang your license. And I was like, okay, let me do some research. I met with a few, very few, actually three. But Realty of Chicago came in again very randomly, just like a lot of things in my story. So I went out dancing, and someone, actually a lender, Jesus Neri, he saw me, and he knew the person, the security outside, and the security was waiting for me to get on my Uber because it was night, it was late, and I was taking the Uber home by myself. So the security was like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I was like, "I do real estate." I didn't have business cards. I was not a realtor just yet. I didn't have a license, but I said, "I'm in real estate." I didn't want to say I was a nanny. So he's like, "Oh, my friend," and I saw Jesus, and a little crew from lending with the suits and the tie and everything. And he's like, "Hey, I have to connect you with this person." I was like, "Oh, my Uber is arriving. I gotta go." But Jesus came and said, "Hey, hello." Obviously, lenders also want to have that type of connection with realtors, so they will send them business. So he came and said hello, and we connected on Facebook afterwards. And he's like, "Do you want to go out for dinner or for lunch just to connect and talk about business?" And I said, "Sure." So when I met with him, I also thought he was in real estate. I didn't know he was a lender. I didn't even know the differences yet. So when I met with him, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like not hiring either, or not. I wasn't really understanding the conversation. It was a lot of new words and new terms for me. So he
Right.
said, "I think you should interview with Realty of Chicago. I know this lady, Tanya Diaz. She's wonderful. This office from Eddie Garcia in Berwyn. They are trendsetters. I think you should interview with Tanya." So he gave me Tanya's information. I give her a call, and we met at Dunkin' Donuts. And I completely forgot about the other places I had talked to, just because I believed in her idea of what Rock or Realty of Chicago is. But more than anything, what caught my attention was we're here for the community. We serve the community. We make money with our community because they trust us with the real estate needs, but we give back so much. And I just really like her presence, her energy. And I said, I'm not interviewing anywhere else. So I guess my point with this is like you get started somewhere whenever it feels right. And to me, I felt home. And I'm having a home away from home, like very, very far away. It meant a lot to me. I didn't ask all the questions about mentorship, about trainings, about compensation. None of that was important to me. At that time, I just wanted to feel good, home, and supported, and then resources, right? But I knew going into real estate was something that I needed to be learning on my own as well. You're an independent contractor. You can have the resources of a company, but also you have to work on your own yourself. And there's so much out there in the internet and classes and certifications that you can be getting. So I said yes, and I have felt home this whole time. I've been with them since I got my license. I've never went anywhere. And when I need something, they support me. It is a great support of mine. They give me opportunities to speak to our agents when there's a training and something, a topic that I know. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And when I ask,
Mhm.
I get. So I feel home. And obviously, Realty of Chicago continues to evolve and improve some things that we didn't have before, such as certain trainings. Or oh no, that's a completely different story now. We do have trainings in place, mentorship, tons of opportunities for
Mhm.
learning. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why rock.
And that's something too that because I like that you mentioned is like you didn't know to ask for mentorship or ask for continued ed. You didn't know that at the beginning of your process.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know now, is that something that like man you wish that you got into right away? That you went for those, or you knew what quite like how like basically what I'm trying to ask is like what are some of the questions that a new agent should be asking when they come to an office that they're trying to be a part of?
Very, very good question. So I would go back and I would not change much.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I want to be in a place that I feel good. So you work with these people or you see these colleagues every single day. In real estate, you work every day and you see more of these people in the office that you see your family, that you see your friends. So I wanted to be in a place that I felt welcome, that I felt so you have to find that. Now, if someone is not as doesn't need the energy of others, which I would have to disagree in a way, but everybody's different. But if someone is very independent, likes to work from home, likes to do their own thing, then whatever is important to you, that's what you should ask for. For me, it was feeling welcome. That's the first one. Then number two was giving to the community. I want to see what my money and my compensation and my split goes to. What does this company do for others? I want to see that. And obviously, then on the meat and potatoes of the actual job, mentorship opportunities. Are seasoned agents willing to, in your office, are seasoned agents willing to have me shadow, have me as a new agent host their open houses? Can I sit with them and see how they do a buyer consultation? So I would want to see if there is that sense, again, community a little bit, where I could get some mentorship from seasoned agents, or do they have someone or a training department that is just going to be giving us like the ins and the outs of every single day transactions? But until you start working, you don't really know. Until you start facing challenges, you don't really know how to come out of them. So I would say the training is important. Asking about that is key. I wouldn't worry about money, just like I did not worry. I would encourage new agents to not worry so much about splits, to not worry so much about what's in there for me monetarily. I would be more of how am I feeling here? What resources are they offering? And am I supported with my ideas too once we start growing? So I think those would be the question. Training should be key as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then so I did hear a lot of giving back, right?
Yes.
Like you like how Rock gives back. And I'm also I'm always going to that office and helping you guys out with the turkey drives and the cold drives. Can you kind of tell us what are some of the other ways that Realty Chicago gives back?
Yes. So we have a new appointed vice president of operations. Her name is Sally Delgado, and she has brought even new initiatives on how to give back as a company. So we're actually going to Habitat for Humanity. In July, we have collected some funds and we're going to be helping building houses for lower income families or people that they just don't have the resources. So Habitat for Humanity is one. We do food pantries. We do, as you mentioned, the turkey drive, the back to school drive. This year we're going to have also Christmas gifts. We also are part of St. Jude. So I mean, we have a lot of different ways. And then in my own team, we do our own little contributions too. We run 5Ks and donate. We just do a lot of things. But examples of that, I mean, we are packing the car with sandwiches and warm coffee to just go and give it to the homeless. I just, we don't publish all of that, or a lot of other
Yeah.
initiatives that we do, just so we keep a little bit intimate for us. But yeah, giving back should be, we're all here to make a better world. So we all should play a part, and Rock does a great job at that.
Yeah, awesome. And then, yeah. So at the beginning, I did talk a little bit about your history with NAREP.
Yeah,
Can you kind of tell us how that started and like the benefits of being with NAREP?
sure. So NARP came to me again. You are introduced. You're in an event. You're like, hey, this is so and so from NARP Chicago. I think you should get involved. And I would say just, in my case is NAREB as of right now, but getting involved also from the very earliest stages in your real estate career is key. And there's so many associations and there's so many places that you can get involved with. One, you learn how to network with people. You learn that you have to come out of your cocoon and talk to people. This is a business of relationships. You have to be genuine and intentional about those relationships. And I found in Narab, when I was introduced, that place. I could come, I could talk to people, I have questions. I would say it's not just the relationships, it's also the resources, the education, the events that we put together. Um, we're also advancing, or for whoever doesn't know what NARP is National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. And our main mission is to advance Hispanic home ownership and other minorities as well as we grow. So getting involved and be able to sit at tables where decisions are made, like when we went to Washington and we saw the real decision makers. And we were part of those sessions and just so much learning. And also on the personal level, I'm learning how to speak better. I'm learning how to communicate with my team, how to delegate better, how to be a better team lead, because I do have a team. And NARIP is giving me all of that. And also, the highlights sometimes when you are working so hard in the industry. So NARIP is a place of resources, relationships, and also fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been a part of a couple of the NAREP different chapters, a part of the events you guys hold, and it's always a wealth of knowledge on a lot of people that you do meet. So really going to these events is like you said, there's it sounds like a lot of what the things that led you to where you are now are happy accidents, right?
Yeah.
And it's because you put yourself in these rooms with people that have these accesses. So you coming to really Chicago because you were at an event where there was like-minded people in that same industry. So going to those events, I know there's a lot of agents that are like, I don't like to go to the events. I'm not a drinker, or I don't like, or I'm shy and everything. You never know what doors can open at those events because they open wide. So it does help out. So definitely
100%.
go out there. Like
100%.
COVID is over. We're coming outside.
Yes.
Sure. So, okay. So
Sharing,
then,
I'm
mhm,
sorry, I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, sharing a little bit about these events. I know that some people might think, oh, why getting involved? Or why do you attend so and so events? Or why do you, well, it's a time waste. I've heard all of that. Whatever works for you. For me, it works. I'm learning as I go. And that is fulfilling to me. Then giving back. If some new agent comes to one of our events and learns something and they implement it in their business, or they meet with the business partner and with your company, and now they hire you for the inspections because they know how knowledgeable you are, how thorough, like how you look at everything, how you have that educational approach, and explain the client, this is what you should do, this is maintenance tips, this is not that serious of a concern. If that person came and made those connections and learned something, that is also giving back, and that is key to me. So I volunteer my time. NARP does take a lot of time, but it brings so much more to the table. So I really, really appreciate the opportunity. I'm actually the vice president next year. I'm going to be the president next year. That's still, yeah, it will be fine.
That's how that. Yeah,
It'll be
that's how.
great.
So it's like a vote, right? Everyone votes
Hmm.
or something like that. Because I
Yes.
mean, I've been to the events. I know Baxy's a member.
Yes.
But so that's why I kind of like take her ticket and go to the events for her when she's in Florida. So
Nice.
yeah, I know but yeah, I never really knew how it worked with that, because I know I've interviewed Guillermo Chavez as
Mhm.
well, and he was a VP as well and everything. He was a president for another chapter. Yeah, I had a couple of NAREP people. You guys, like they're all in real estate, so for sure,
Yeah,
it's NAREP is a great organization.
certainly, certainly.
Hmm. So from there, I wanted to get into your publishing. Okay,
Oh,
so my book is upstairs. Latinas in Real Estate is a great new book. I think it's only been out for like a month now.
yes.
Yeah, and that's a story of it's all the stories of a bunch of Latinas in real estate here in Chicago. Baxy's actually one of them. I know Maggie Anton,
Actually,
so many Sally Delgado, so many heavy hitters in the real estate industry. Can you tell us what that was like becoming a publisher?
yeah. Again, another happy accident. Maggie and Tio Matthews, she's our maravillosa a managing broker in the North Side office. And it was one night she was preparing this little gift for her clients for Thanksgiving. And I just parked to pack something for my own clients. And she was here, it was Saturday night, it was kind of like dark, and she was just working in the back. And she's like, hey, I was given this opportunity to put together a group of females, powerful Latinas in real estate. And I know I have been in the industry for almost 6 years, but it's not, like her, like 22 years, or I'm not that, that I don't have the longevity in the business. But she's like, I really see where you're going. I've seen your growth. I've seen how much you can do. So she's like, would you be part of the book? And I said, sure. I didn't know what I was getting into. But then it was very organized, very organized group of females. They put together some stories of passion, resilience, struggles, how to overcome certain obstacles and challenges. So it was certainly very therapeutical to me, in a way. And I've shared these with my book sisters. We all share that same thought. We live in a world, and especially in this business, that is very fast paced, and then you go 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 go, and we don't have a lot of time to sit and reflect. So the opportunity of this book actually pushed me to sit down for a longer time and be like, okay, now we're gonna go back in time, and you're gonna think of your story, of everything that has happened to you or that has happened around you, and the decisions you have made. And it was a beautiful a group of stories that, at least, I'm very proud of mine. I'm very proud of other people too, and I cry pretty much with every one of them.
Hmm.
So it's a very, very good book. It's an anthology of, as I said, passion, resilience, and pain that we go as a female entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy the process. And now it's going to be in the campaign, and it is already in the campaign of bestseller in Amazon.
That's awesome.
And I'm excited to see other opportunities to share and to inspire others that they might not be thinking that, oh, I don't think I can do that, or they might see that you're so perfect, or whatever the social media tells you that somebody's doing so good. Well, in this book we also say a lot of things that they are a little behind the scenes, um, with the struggles that we go through. And your
Yeah.
mom's story is it's just unbelievable. So
Hmm.
I hope that maybe in this podcast, some people can grab the book afterwards.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, the book is great. I'm always like, handing them out. Like I kind of bring them to my seminars, and I give a couple away, to people that are there, like, hey, just take, like, here's three, if anybody who wants one, here, take it home with you, read it, enjoy it. Really good stories. She does call me out in there. I'm like, haha, to my brother and my sister. I'm like, she said my name, you know.
I know your
But
mom's a right hand for sure.
Oh yeah, so it's no, that was a great opportunity, and we love that for sure. And then that opening event, the night that the book were launched, the launch event that you guys had, there was nothing. It's very true.
Oh
The
my
amount
god,
of emotion,
I
everybody, I was dying.
That was the day I mean, right now I'm not crying. I might. But it was just crying from even standing up in front of the microphone until I sit down back in the chair.
Very emotional. That book is full of
Very.
emotion. You can tell that you ladies poured your heart into those books, into every word. So that's a very great book. Like she said, it's on Amazon. You can download the Kindle version, or you can get the hard copy delivered straight to your house on Amazon. So push those numbers up there so we can get that book to be the top sellers, because it's definitely worth it. There's some really good stories in there for sure. Um, so from there, the next question was, any plans for any other books? Are you gonna write a comic book or something?
Maybe, maybe. Yeah, that kind of like planted a seed. I thought I
Uh-huh.
was not a great writer. It's not like I'm, amazing, but just being able to share. And I know that when I read it actually to some of my team members, they all got emotional too. I'm like, maybe if you can have someone feel what you feel when you're writing it, and kind of like having them either relate with what's happening to them as well, or maybe inspire them to do something, or just like almost like empty out your feelings, as I said, is very therapeutical. So I mean, in a chapter you cannot tell your whole story.
Right.
So, side note, I know that I had to do 2,000 words for my chapter. However, I Google what was that, and it was 4 pages, but I didn't Google the font size. So
Mm.
I wrote another 2,000, and then we had to cut a lot of things
Oh
out of
wow.
it. So I might put something together, maybe a blog. Maybe it doesn't need to be a book. We'll see.
Now you can get the dreams to real the Latina in real estate Aihnoa cut with her extra chapter and a half
Maybe,
coming soon.
maybe coming soon. We'll see.
Uh-huh. Awesome. I love that. That's great. The last question I have for you, it's kind of a fun one. Besides real estate, is there anything else you're super passionate about?
Oh my God, yes. I'm just passionate about life, period. But I like to do a lot of things. If I had more lives, I would be a lot of other professions too. And that's also why I volunteer to like different. I was a CASA advocate for 5.5 years. For those who don't know, CASA is court special, it's called appointed special advocates, which is for children in foster care. And I was kind of like a mentor to them. So I just really like to be a social worker. And I see in real estate a lot of that. That's why I care so much about the clients. But if I had another life, I'll be a doctor, a vet. I'll be a politician. Well, that might happen. I'll
That might
yeah,
happen.
we'll see. No, I would see a lot of things, but I love cooking. Love cooking. It's very therapeutical to me as well. I love feeding people. Love hosting, gardening. I love it. Tomatoes and peppers is my thing. I should have just planted. I love traveling, discovering other cultures through food too. I love trying
Mhm.
new foods in different restaurants and also in different countries. Just learning about other cultures too. Love that. History,
I
art, music, dance. I
Oh
love
yeah.
dance. Give me a good bachatita and I'm all set. So yeah, I like a lot of things. It's just that with our time, we just don't have all that time.
Yeah, I know we need. I like how you said that. If I had more lives, I'd have more. I'd have well more licenses, right?
I'll be more, I have more, I don't know. I wanted to be a teacher, but the teacher is something that I can still do as a real estate agent in our
For
consultations.
sure.
I'm a teacher. Um, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
If you had more lives, what would you do?
Me, if I
Yeah.
had more lives, my a big passion of mine would was always like comedy and acting. So that was kind of my main thing when I was growing up. I really enjoyed, being the funny guy and like doing stand up and everything like that. Being into comedy, actually because of this podcast and the my time with Baxty and doing the home inspection, it actually got me to speak a lot more, and I'm actually getting on stage now. So I actually have went on to an event where I went and I did a little stand up gig, and everything. So it caused me to like to push me into it. So that's my ultimate dream was always to be a comedian, and I'm kind of doing it now for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to wait to another life to do that. I
Yeah.
think you're getting started already. That's awesome. Well,
Hmm.
let me know when you have a date in mind or a place. I would love to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
actually, funny enough, I'm actually looking to sign up for classes with Second City because
Hmm.
I'm going to do some stand up as
Nice.
well. But not because I want to do it in front of people. It's just that it's part of the class to be able to talk in public and to get better at that. So I'm just going to be taking classes in Second City.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've always wanted to like if to take some improv classes or some extra classes for that.
Join me. I haven't started.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know where you're
Okay,
going, and
I'll
then
send you the
that's
link
definitely
afterwards.
something I wanted to get doing because I really do want to like. I feel like the podcast is going to help traject that more, and hopefully, I can get into it because it's always been something in the back of my head. Like I said, I'm always the funny guy, in the back of the room and everything. So I know I could really bring a good one on there for sure.
I'm going to say something about you if you allow me.
Sure,
When I met, I don't know if this podcast is about you, but I'm going to make it about you at least the end.
sure.
Um, when I met you, you were the shy person in the corner of the room when your mom was presenting, when we
Yeah.
do the seminar or even in inspections. You obviously deliver your message to the client and make sure things were done, but you were more like the silent inspector. Mom will speak and will explain things. You will be kind of like the silent work. Okay, I need to check the electrical. I need to check this. You guys divide and conquer to make the inspection go smooth and faster. But you will be doing certain things, and then you're like, okay, I'm done with this. A report will have include this and this, but not a speaker, and not someone that will, even in a networking event, you would not approach someone and be like, hey, I'm Michael. Like,
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of growth in you as well, and I wanted to tell you that I see a lot of growth, and keep it up. It's wonderful to see how much
Yeah.
in very short time too, that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have.
Within these 5 years, definitely. I mean, it was like really like you have to because it was always like I was always the back end. When I because I always say I've been in the real estate industry my whole life, but I was always the back end. I would help with paperwork. I would make phone calls. I was in the background. So when it became to the point where we went into this part where I was like, okay, now I have to present. I have to talk. It took a little bit for me to get comfortable speaking to realtors because like then 5 years ago, I was like, man, like these people are like top producers. They're making so much money. Like why are they going to listen to me? You know what I mean? So that was kind of like in the back of my head. But then as I, grown with you guys, because I've seen all your careers like, blossom and everything like that. And I've seen you all, I start to like get more comfortable with everybody. And now, like you said, yeah, I'm the one that's, going to the front, trying to shake everybody's hand. I have a rule. I show up to every event with 50 cards and I can't leave until all 50 cards are gone. I have to give all my cards away and I'm not allowed to go home until I do so.
I'm gonna take a quick note on that. I'm gonna take a quick note on that.
That's my little thing. So it's like, oh man, I got 20 more cards. I can't go home yet. Then I try to make sure that everybody that's in this event has my card before I get out of here.
I love it. I actually
Hmm.
took my note in there. I'll
For
be
sure.
practicing that. No,
Hmm.
but for real, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've seen it, and let's take the classes. Let's take the
Yeah,
class.
definitely. Keep me posted. Let me know what you're gonna be doing. I definitely want to get that going. That's like my dream that I need to get. I need to get out of my dream. So for the last thing that I would like for you to do
Yes.
is for anybody out there that wants to get a hold of you for mentorship or wants to buy a house. What's the best way to contact you?
I always make it about the client. What is the best way to contact you, right? So I have all platforms that I have in my hand at all times. Email works great. My phone number works great. Calls, text, Instagram, Facebook, Messenger. I'm always checking. So any way that works best for you works well for me. I no longer say I'm a 24/7 agent because people will call you at midnight. But if you text me, I do put it on do not disturb at a certain time at night. But I will get a response to you the next day.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say that social media works great too.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I know this has like been a really good episode. I know this is going to be like a probably one of it's going to blow up once you start sharing it on your social media because I know you're rocking it on yours. So I do thank you for your time. Again, this is a good one. Thank you again. Thank you everybody for tuning in on watching this week's episode of Dreams to Realty Success. We'll see you next time. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye.